Hello again, everyone. Now we're going to move into some interesting stuff, some fun stuff, charts and graphs. So we're going to take a table like this, and we're going to really try to make it pop. Now you can make some really elaborate tables and some really cool tables, but why do that when you can actually take some of this and put it in a really cool visual format, like some sort of chart or graph? So in this video, I want to show you how you can make some very basic column or clustered column charts. And then I'm going to do another video where we'll do some other ones like pie charts and maybe something that's a little more elaborate than that. But let's start with something pretty basic. Now, if we're going to insert charts, we're going to go to the Insert tab, and we have this family of buttons right here that allows us to put a large number of different kinds of charts into our spreadsheet. Now, a word of caution, don't assume that every kind of chart's going to work the same way, okay? I have a certain amount of data here and it's presented in a certain way, and just because I want it to look really elaborate and really cool doesn't mean I should. It doesn't mean that I should be able to use something like some sort of scatter or bubble chart, or some sort of combo chart with a cascade or a waterfall or something like that, a funnel. There's all manner of different kinds you can do. Doesn't mean, just because you can doesn't mean you should do it. So let's start basic. Let's say I just want to somehow graph the overall grades for my students. I'm going to highlight the last names, and then I'm going to click Control and hold Control while I also highlight the overall grade. You can highlight overall grade and last name as well if you want, but you don't need to in a case like this. So I'm going to go to the recommended charts right there, because Excel will basically tell me what the best options are based on what I have highlighted. So in a situation like this, they're giving me basically four different options: clustered column, we've got another one here, clustered bar, and then a funnel, and that one right there. But clustered column is what we're going to do. You can go to all charts, but they're not going to present themselves in the same way. Some of the data is just not going to show well for instance, a radar chart or a box and whisker or all manner of different kinds. So stick with what Excel recommends. That's the best situation. So I'm going to click with a clustered column, stick with a clustered column, click OK, and this is my chart. I'm going to expand it a little bit so you can see it, move it out of the way there. So everything that's highlighted is actually appearing right here. We've got the names of the students, we've got their grades. We're going to tweak a couple things, but you notice that once you have this highlighted, a couple things happens. So I don't have it highlighted. Once I click into it, two things happen. I have chart tools, I have different options up there, and it shows the highlighted elements of my table where I'm drawing my data from. And that's important. Why? Well, I can tweak things in here and it will change things here. So let's say, for instance, Orlovsky, his grade right now is a 96. Let's say it's a 56. I had to change it for some reason. I click there and I hit enter, and you see how it changes immediately. Okay? So you can do things like that. So that's good to know. The other thing is, when I highlight this, like I said before, you have design and format options. And that's going to be very important, and we're going to turn to that in just a minute. There's a couple things, though, that I want to look at first. We have chart title. We're going to change that. Whenever you have this highlighted, you can click further and then change certain elements here. And I'm going to change this to overall grades instead of saying chart title. But I have an issue here. This goes all the way to 120%. Well, grades don't. They stop at 100. How do I change this? Well, I can click here, and it gives me the option of setting a minimum and maximum. So I'm going to change 120 to 100, and again, hit enter, and it's going to change it for me. Subtle change, but a change nonetheless. Now, this looks good, but let's say I want to change it up a little bit. Let's say I want to make the style different or change the colors. I can do that very easily with the design up here. Use the drop down More tab, and I have all these different options that I can choose from. Let's go with this one right here. Blue's nice, but let's say I want a different color. I can change it very easily as well under Change Colors. I can go to blue, I can go to green, dark green, all sorts of different kinds of things here. It really depends on what you want. You can change a great deal very, very easily. Not only do you do that up here, formatting as well. You can change very specific. Let's say I want to highlight certain students. I'm going to click on that, and then let's say I want to change one specific color. I can do that as well. I want to make it red or something for those students who stand out because they have higher grades or something like that. Very easily done. We can do that. But I can also make those changes over here with these buttons just to the right. This one right here allows me to change the chart elements. Let's say I want to put axis titles in. I can do that very easily. And I'm going to highlight there and triple click, and I'm going to say student names. And then over here, percentage. Very easy, very quick, right there under chart elements. I can put data tables in or data labels as well to make it a little easier to read. Over here, just like as above, I can change this style or color. Now just be very careful about this because you don't want to change it too much and have a dark background and a dark color or something like that. So be careful with that. And I can also change the values. Let's say I want to take out all the students with really low grades. I can remove them and then hit apply, and they will be taken out, from my finished product. So I'll just show you there, apply, and it changes things. Some very, very easy things to do. And in less than 5 minutes, you see how we've really taken some very basic, boring data and turned it into some sort of format that is more eye-catching. And we're just scratching the surface here. Next, I want to show you a couple of other kinds of charts, specifically a pie chart, and some other ones that may not be as well known. So we'll turn to that in the next video.